Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Strategic Command World War I. And we're playing as the Central Powers. That's Germany and Austro-Hungary. I made a mistake the first time I pushed this cavalry corps too far out, and we're probably going to lose it. Which is not a good thing. Which really is not a good thing. Okay, we're going to start with something easier like, oh, I don't know, the Western Front here. Now, I really should have had this. We'll move it out of the way. Okay. Oh, we didn't have to do any sort of tricks, I think, to kill the corps. Okay, 2 French corps have been shattered. That is a useful thing. Now. No, we're not going to attack a fortified position. Well, that hurt a lot worse than I was thinking it was going to. They've already moved a lot. Damn, they already... Okay, that's moved them too much. Okay, didn't do that dance too well. Okay, it'll be a little more expensive for them to rebuild. Let's move that up. I think we can... move that back there. Okay, well, and, well, might have helped us. Some air power might have helped us. Okay, that's sort of the easy stuff. Very good, very good. We've got Belgrade. Probably in... our troops are in such condition as to be able to hold it. Okay, hopefully, well, hopefully we'll be able to do that. Hold that. Okay. I want to push them back here. The Russians, that is. But I also don't want to lose down here. Oh, okay, well, I guess the HQ can't get down there, so I'll come to here. Hopefully those will be able to hold the town. melted and shattered. All but one. Damn. Okay. Well. Yeah, I figured there would be somebody there. I so want to cut that, but I don't want to have this happen to me again. You hold that down. You know, the propaganda now. We would advise against attacking the French fortified zone. We're gonna push when we think it's sort of smart, shall we say, on the French. What's it worth to try to save that? Because yes, I want to cut off as much as this as I can. They hurt my air power. Should have done that first. Oh, yay, 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 yay. Oh, damn it. Okay, yeah, these horses can relieve them. Okay, that should get them back to being supplied. Oh, yay, okay. Now, let's see if we can continue to hold up here. And maybe push back a little bit. 3, 4, ooh, that would be good. Yeah, going across that river may not be the smartest thing. That's a pretty strong core there. Okay, Russian core shattered. Work for the day done. Swap those out. And 2 Russian cores down. Very good. This has sort of turned out to be our little Tannenberg here, a little further out on the west. Ooh, do we come down? No. Oh, I want to push. So want to be the Panzer General. Oh, naval mines. Uh-oh. Boom. Oh, that hurt. Okay. Enemy contact. Well, that's what you're there for. Only down to 8? Well, maybe these are pre-dreadnought battleships. Bring in the Rune armored cruiser. This is Faust Bismarck armored cruiser. Oh, there we go. CL. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, let's see. Not as good as I... Oh, very good. Ouch. I think from attacking them in port. As Helsinki is, of course, currently Russian territory. Let's go see what's further in. Come on. Heavy cruiser, sink 'em. Oh, come on. I know they're sort of in port there, but... Naval gunfire should be... Britain doesn't get involved, I guess you don't have to worry about the... Pegamagabo. Don't know what you're talking about there. Very sorry, you've lost me on that one. Doing a plan 17 in which they attack you. I would advise against attacking Forge for that. Okay, and these guys here come all the way up into here. See what's going on. Oh, there we go. Enemy contact. Boom. Yeah, you can kill my destroyer. That I'm relatively good with that. Not, of course, I want my destroyer killed, but I don't know if it is or just some sort of strange thing I've never heard of. Okay, well. $18 MPP, yes. Let's operate and get these guys over to here. Let's... Oh, you're not on a rail line, probably is why they can't operate. Okay, well, you come to a rail line. So do you. And... Well... We've got 2 HQs. We could use a third, I guess. I don't think... Looking at the ratings here. Yeah. Ooh, 30, that's expensive, but I guess we'll pay it. Come over to here. I want to better. Deal with that. Okay, well, you can come to... Definitely want to help the Germans by pushing in the south here. I really, really wished I could have got that. I was so close to getting that. You hold the fortress, you come up and hold the city. They might be able to come in and cut me off, but I don't think so. Oh, Quebec Native American who killed 350 Germans and got another 300 Germans as prisoners. He survived the whole 4 years of the war. I hadn't heard about him. Of course, I know about Sergeant York. That's very famous here in America, at least. Well, I have a feeling, and not that it's like done, but I have a feeling that now that we've got Belgrade, it's only going to be a matter of time before we wear down, and yes, I'm thinking wear down, the Serbs. So we're going to move that there. Now, we now have some MPP to buy things, to purchase things. Okay. That's going to take almost all of our MPP just to get a core, a detachment. Well, you know, we have, as pointed out, thin line out here. And I could use just a few detachments in the rear, sort of holding up the Russians from purely punching through to some cities. So let's purchase and purchase. Okay, 2 detachments for Austro-Hungary. The bombers, maritime bombers, those maritime bombers are already calling me, and you know how much I get like that, but 150, don't know. Artillery, wow, okay. Artillery would be incredibly important. So let's purchase that. Okay, I think that's going to be all of our purchasing. I don't even really know that we can, well, max, okay, maybe most of these have already attacked, so they can't. Yeah, we don't need to. Oh, they could. Oh, cancel, cancel. Let's. No, no, they fired. That's right. Okay, well, it looks like we saved our horses for now. Getting there, and we cut a big hole in the Russian front line. Oh yeah, no, I've watched the Gary Cooper movie many a time. And it is, I would say, generally speaking, good. Okay, well, we're at war with France, and quite honestly, I haven't been paying attention to that. Navally, shall we say. Okay, let's grab a heavy cruiser. We're going to turn them to convoy mode and move them down here. Try to cut off that and set mode hunt, silent hunt. We want to be hunting, and let's move down here. So hopefully we are interrupting any supplies coming through Montenegro into, and do we have, yes, we do have points. We should, anything that we can actually really upgrade. We should do so, I think. Okay, for the Austrians. Okay, so am I forgetting anything? No, we don't have the wherewithal to operate. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this turn and see what happens next. Suffers attritional losses, right. Okay, well, that's not bad. Urban morale falls due to the loss of Belgrade. Libya moves government to Nish. Figured they would be doing something like that once, but I really hope Belgrade really damages their ability to reinforce their units and definitely build new units. Chief of the General Staff, Baron Conrad von Wagenheim, our ambassador to the Ottoman Empire, reports from Constantinople that the Ottoman army is not yet ready for war, and large sums of money would be needed to be spent to bring it to an acceptable standard. Improving the Ottoman empires will cost 200 MPP at 50 turns. Be able to provide Leon von Sanders with logistical support necessary to take the field, would you? Okay, viewers. Okay, for anyone who can please host. Oh, thank you, Arno. Do we even care? Well, I guess we do care, because we can use the Ottomans to attack the Russians. Because remember, our whole point is to keep the British out of this. So we don't need the Ottomans to like distract the British and attack them in Egypt or something like that. We don't need that. We're gonna at least try to keep that from happening. So, I'm a little worried about the MPP cost, but not terribly. Yeah, I think I'll go with the Ottomans were very important to the African front and threatens the entire oil supply to the British. Yeah, but we're hoping not to fight the British Navy. We're going, British Navy's our friends. We love them. They're our buddies. It's those evil French that you've been fighting for 300 years that we're fighting. So, yeah, we'll help them out. Okay. Now, I will be streaming this Thursday for Slytherin, and I probably will have to go into Belgium then. Polish Supreme National Committee are offering their services in our fight against Russia, and Joseph Pilsudski is proposing to raise a Polish legion for our service. Given the number of likely Polish volunteers, these volunteers would form half-strength detachment, which could deploy at Kosice in early September 14th. Would you like to approve raising of the Polish unit? It would cost 30 MPP a turn for 2 turns. Yeah, I guess so. Bulgaria takes increase that and interest. Central Powers advance in Poland swings Bulgaria towards the Central Powers. Ottomans welcome the arrival of the Gerben at Constantinople. French increase arms productions in the southwest. Yeah, actually the French mobilize continues. The Germans really set up a sort of autonomous Polish zone within their area of control fairly early on. France continues its mobilization. And yeah, that was sort of the big thing that the French or the Germans were worried about, was German mobilization continues, was how big of an army they were going to have once mobilization happened. 6 plus corps Austro-Hungarian mobilization continues. Very good. Hopefully it's helping that I'm not, and Russian mobilization is continuing, of course. Okay, so we end up with, after all of our minuses for Hindenburg and the Ottomans, their pluses, 334, 160, Ottoman Empire collects 59. Yeah, figured this is going to happen. They may just get to crush our destroyers. Better that, and then we can coordinate. Well, they're doing a nice fighting retreat, I'm gathering here. Oh, not good enough though. Maybe they'll survive. Looks like they will. little further maybe than we should. But hammering that, well, if we lose the core, that's bad. We're gonna lose the core. That was a little too forward. That ain't good either. Bam, another core down. Would have been fine had we been able to entrench a bit better, but I really wanted to get that one core down. Now, please all watch and remember, I've not played this far into the game before, so I really don't know what to expect. Well, we lost the oil fields anyways. I was really trying not to have happen. Because although oil isn't a huge driver of the war, and Germany does produce oil, I don't know how much it produces in World War I, because I don't know how much of the oil fields they knew about that. Okay, hunger, Russian morale boost by the capture of the Galatian oil fields. Disrupt Serbian convoys, very good. Try landing in Petrograd, that would be of interest. Okay, Germany's lost 1 core to my stupidity moving further forward. The Austrians have lost 2 core. I don't think to my stupidity, just overwhelming. Russian capabilities. Serbia lost 7 MPP. Serbia lost 6 MPP. They can't have very much, so I don't know how much is being provided. The Entente naval blockade of Germany launches vital naval shipping goods. If we do not engage the enemy's fleet trying to carry out such a blockade, then our people will go hungry. Now, what the hell are they talking about here? And this is what... Huh. Why is this happening? Can somebody at Fury Software explain this to me, please? Anybody at Fury Software, I'd love to hear. You know, I think the world of you guys. But can you explain this to me? The Entente's naval blockade of Germany. Enemy may launch a naval blockade to stop neutral shipping from bringing goods to our shore. Okay. If we do not engage enemy fleets carrying out such a blockade, then our people will go hungry and this could lead to disorder as their morale fails. Okay. There are 2 areas where the enemy can place ships to enforce the blockade. Most effective one is between Scapa Flow and Norway. Well, who's going to be up at Scapa Flow because Britain's neutral? How is French going to carry this out? What? What? Minefields are on these locations, not remain, as it will also impede the flow of merchant shipping and therefore reduce our national morale. It can enforce blockade between Scotland and we can also enforce Iceland, but this will be less harmful to us because it was easier for our merchantmen to slip through their patrol areas. Okay. More Entente units enforcing blockade will impact. Now maybe this is going to be nothing unless France puts fleets up there. That could be. Maybe I'm overreacting. But you see, the French fleet, they've got to sail out of Brest, sail up to here, sail, or steam, I guess we should say, steam around here, and then steam all the way back here to get more food. In World War I do not think there was a, well, the U.S. may have, there may be some practical practice at this, but there really wasn't much effective, especially loading in all the coal for the steamships. Underway replenishment. I'm trying to remember if there was, the U.S. was doing some. I don't know. So mostly you got to go back into port to put more coal in your ships. That's a big process. Moving a fairly large freighter next to a battleship at sea will pound the two ships together. So you have to keep them apart. And with steam, I don't think you can transfer coal from one to the other. And I think these are basically all coal burners. The submarines are diesels. Some of like the early motor torpedo boats or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I think they're diesel type engines and such. But they're mostly coal burners. And I don't think you can effectively, out in the North Sea, you know, maybe in a sheltered bay, you know, at the Shetland Islands or something, you know, where it's calm, have two ships come next to each other and shovel coal from one to the other. Because I don't think they had, like, you know, conveyor belts moving coal rapidly back and forth at the time. So they've just got to shovel them or put it in bags and carrying on the backs of men and putting them into the things. Or maybe, yeah, having conveyor belts moving it up to big dumpers on land, you know, that you can move a ship next to it and dump, you know, down a chute coal into bunkers or something like that. But I don't think at sea that that's going to be a practical thing. So, yeah, a bit of a rant here. So sure, the British, yeah, going out of Scapa Flow, the Orkney Isles, yeah, I'm good with that. That's what allowed them to do that. But France? Sure, France fleet can come there. Hell, France fleet can go across the damn Atlantic, but stay there persistently. Stay around for a long time. I don't see that as being a thing. And so, you know, so you have to, you know, and again, I'm saying all this, and maybe that just having this here is just, it's now on the map. If the more Entente units enforcing the blockade, okay. If there's no Entente units get onto these blockade hexes, nothing happens. So I may be overstating this kind of thing. I still think the German fleet, even moving down through the Straits of Dover, shouldn't cause a problem with the English so long as you're only at war with France. Yeah, they need to, I think, again, if this is nothing but a cosmetic thing on the board until we start seeing ships there, but I don't know. It may be nothing, but maybe it's something that should only fire once Britain is at war with Germany. I could send out fuel suppliers. Ships have been loaded up with coal and such, and give it to other ships. Okay, yeah, Ari, I hear you, but where are you going to do it? You can't, in a practical sense, do it at sea. If Okay, what happens is when you move two ships next to each other, there's a hydrodynamic effect that makes them want to smash into each other. Okay, so either you have to build and be able to put over the side big, huge cushions that will stay in the water and will sort of cushion the two ships together. And you can't stop moving. You can't just drift, okay? Not out at sea. You can't drift. So you need to keep moving. And that's what push them together. So you've got to steer very carefully to keep them apart. You don't see my hands moving. I wish I could. But you got to keep them steering from colliding. Now, in World War II, in the modern era, they then throw lines between the ships and then put the supplies in nets and transfer them across. Okay, you can do that. I don't know how experienced they were doing that for World War One, and it's not just doing it to one or two ships, it's doing to a bunch of them. And moving some food, fine. And of course, once you get into World War II, you can run hoses across to move things like fuel and water. We're playing as Germany, or the Central Powers, which includes Austria, Hungary, and Turkey. So that you can, move water over to it, because water is another important element. I don't know that in World War One they had desalting. Maybe they did for the steam. I don't know. But definitely they need to move lots of fuel over there. Now, if you can, and they definitely had resupply ships. That was very, very common. So if you can get into a bay in the Orkneys, or in the bay in calm water in Shetlands, or or in the Norwegian Ford, then yeah, fine. You're in a bit of calm water. You can move the ships next to each other. You just put fenders. They sort of fend off the other thing. Fenders, which are often just big bundles of rope down that keeps the ships from harming each other when they do come into contact, very gently in a calm place. And then they transfer supplies. Absolutely, they need a place to do that. Well, if Britain is neutral, you're not supposed to be doing that in the Orkneys or the Shetlands, or if Norway's neutral, in the Norwegian Ford. So yeah, of course they had supply ships. But there's a big difference to doing it underway at sea, particularly in the North Sea. That's a lot different than doing it, I don't know, some sort of, in the Baltic, just sort of hanging out here where it isn't, not like in a bay, but just sort of in a sort of calmer area. Definitely, you get, Holga Land or something like that. Is Holga Land under here or something, I guess? This is supposed to be, don't know where's Holga Land here, but, yeah, you really need a place to do that. And I'm just not seeing it here, because Iceland is part of Denmark. Denmark has a wonderful machine gun that it sells a few, little bit pre-war, little bit during the war, but basically refuses to sell too many. I mean, the Germans and the Austrians are willing to buy as many as they can, but they say no just because they don't want to be an arms supplier for the conflict. They want to stay neutral. So they're not going to let the French use an Iceland port to resupply. Norway doesn't want to do that either. The Faroes, I think, are Danish. They're not going to let that happen. And so, yeah, that isn't going to be happening. And so you have to go all the way up over here. And then you have to, get there and loiter to get merchant vessels. Now, I'm not saying that say, you know, ships going to. But hey, it's neutral. Why aren't we trading with Britain for food? You know, it's neutral. So what does it matter? We'll just show up in Edinburgh and buy food and bring it back to Germany. We have no good, at least I have know of no, and I'm not a World War I expert, I know of no good reason to believe that Britain would, the war materials might be, you know, direct war materials, you know, that might be different, but something that comes to the term of food, I have no good belief that there would be such a plan that Britain would not sell food to Germany. I just don't see that as a, you know, that we know for sure. No, there's reasons to believe they might, just because, you know, Britain's policy up until this point, and until they decided to join the European Union, was a divided, balanced Europe. They want to have, they don't want France too strong. They're willing to go to war with France if France is getting too strong. If Germany is getting too strong, they're willing to go to war with Germany. If Austria is getting too strong, they're willing to go to war with them. Anybody who gets too strong. Well, we see the German Empire being created. It's declared at the Palace of Versailles and the Hall of Mirrors, 1870 something, you know, at the end of the Franco-Prussian War. Before that, it was the Franco-Prussian War. Now it's the German Empire. So they're very concerned about Germany as a becoming too powerful, most assuredly. But they're still concerned about France being too powerful. So I could see them not wanting to do essential materials for arms production, let alone actual arms being produced. You know, hey, we're building machine guns. We'll build them in the German caliber and sell them. No, I could see that being banned in Britain. I could see, you know, essential chemicals to make gunpowder or, you know, other direct war chemicals being banned from sale to Germany, though Germany is one of the major leading chemical manufacturers at this time. I don't know where all the raw resources for the chemicals come from. But food? You know, British merchants would buy it in Canada, bring it to Britain, and yeah, they'd sell it to the Germans. I don't see why not. I don't see, you know, food that feeds people. Yeah, it feeds soldiers, but it feeds people. I don't see that as being something that they're you know, not willing to do. So I don't know. Again, this worries me. Events like this that aren't tied to specific things happening in the game. You know, Britain being at war. If Britain's at war, then this is like, yeah, I'm with you on it. This sounds good. But not the way this is. Okay, well, we're going to end this episode. Not the live stream, this episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me over on YouTube. Love hearing from you, so please post your thoughts on what Britain would have done had Britain been neutral in World War I, regarding trade in particular, because obviously neutral means they don't actually join the fighting. Love to hear your thoughts on that. See you next time for more historical gaming.